I'm really about to take a stab at this by myself, I think. But show must go on.
Did he really have to lie? I
No,
get.
Craig didn't either, but you know. Oh my God!
I could have caught that.
For the record.
Because we've seen what Adesanya can do.
Oh, we see what Lasagna's done.
Did you call him Lasagna?
Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. Frozen. A6 all the hate. I won't get involved today.
Islam?
Yeah.
Islam,
Don't hurt yourself over there.
This is just Adonis, local Negro.
Local esophagus shuts it down for everyone. There's something in the water. Yeah, it's a Hellcat.
Because we don't care. No, I'm not.
We do not care.
We do not care. And now no, I'm not speaking French. We really don't care. We've been through a lot. All right.
And Isaac do not care.
That's a joke. Tell him laugh. Uncle Sam got the bag. Brody plot will get a whack. Contract. Give me the max. I got lab on my back. You ain't.
Yo. Shut up. This is Unbounded Ions as always. The truth. Handling it on my own today. And try to get some people in here to kind of get me something to feed off of because oh my gosh, if I don't, I'm gonna just start ranting. But it is Thursday evening. On spring break. Kind of taking it easy. Not too easy. Kind of had a real lazy day today, so I was like, let me go down the house for a little bit. So, first off, I want to go ahead and start off with rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins was untimely taken away from this earth sometime last week. I can't exactly remember the day. Saturday. I was at rehearsal. Saturday morning was hit on the interstate, I believe, and was just gone. So I think one thing we can all take from just that story there, you never know where your time is coming. It can hit you just like that. This is a guy that was still in the NFL, had an opportunity to compete for the starting job with the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger. The Steelers brought in Mitchell Trubisky, who kind of was in the same position as Dwayne Haskins, two guys that were really trying to get a second shot at the starting job playing quarterback in the NFL. It sucks that we would not be able to see a comeback story there because I was really rooting for the comeback story. But the things that I've seen from videos of who Dwayne Haskins was beyond just the quarterback, beyond the guy that was a legendary figure at the Ohio State University. The guy he put a smile on your face, man. So prayers out to the family of Dwayne Haskins. I'm never going to get into the ridiculousness of some of the takes that I saw from actual reporters and people within the media because that was just ridiculous in itself. But, yeah, man, we are it sucks. But I definitely want to put that out there. And then also we lost a musical icon, if you would. Not too many people who don't know the song "We Ready." You've heard it in multiple commercials. You've heard it at different sporting events. It's just that one song that just gets you hyped up, man. And one of the men behind that song was unfortunately his life was taken by his brother. According to reports from I believe the police, which is beyond sickening because it's already a bad thing when your life gets taken away. I'm a black man, so it already bugs me when a black man takes another black man's life. And I'm going to kind of get into some more of that later on in the podcast. But when that black life is taken away by your blood, your literal brother killed, like, how can you live with yourself knowing that you just took your own brother's life? Like, things like that really don't register with me. Like, how you could think that it's okay not just to kill a black man or a man period or just a person in general, but you took your own brother's life, which makes it even that much more frustrating. But let's get into some other news. WWE. Let's get into some wrestling for a little bit. So WWE has been touting that they have surpassed the Super Bowl in quite a few metrics when it comes to video views, social media interactions, and things of that sort. To be honest with you, I don't understand why anybody would be surprised by that. WWE, Jay-Z said it last year when he was talking to Bad Bunny. The WrestleMania is bigger than the Super Bowl. And if you don't believe that, you are just being delusional at this point, because WrestleMania is more than just the United States watching. Oh, I'm not alone. So here's Isaac. I didn't know if you were going to be here, so I've already started.
Yeah, I know. I told myself haven't missed a show yet. No, I don't plan on missing one now.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaac has got here. And again, pray for these people with allergies, including me and Isaac. We are not okay out in these streets.
We're not. You thought being a millennial was bad. Try being a millennial with allergies. It's not fun. I got my tea that I'm actually drinking. So,
what tea is it?
It's some Lipton tea. It works. Hey, it's working.
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
breathe.
What I told you earlier. I usually get mine from either Walmart or Kroger.
And then I have
Walmart
this tea
has
too.
Eucalyptus tea.
I also have this tea too. So
Walmart has the eucalyptus tea, and the tea that I told you about earlier today. I get that from Kroger. So just have it just in case. Like, I got a bunch downstairs for just in case purposes.
I was also watching Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. I was about to watch all three matches they had, which were very, very underrated.
Well,
I think are we going to get to that?
What?
I was just saying about anything wrestling because I just wanted to.
Well, yeah, I'm about to start wrestling now, but before we get into all the wrestling information, I want to, like we did last week, I'm going to run through a card.
All right, let's do it.
And I need you to tell me what pay-per-view this is.
All right.
So the YouTube pre-show, which was viewed by 44,049 people.
Okay,
was Kane defeating Zack Ryder.
Okay, so Kane defeating Zack Ryder, that's easily 2011. That's like summer 2011, maybe early 2012, like Royal Rumble time frame 2012. Am I in the right time frame?
You're somewhere around there.
All right, so because Zack, as I know, Ryder was feuding with Kane, but it wasn't really a feud. It was more like Kane was just
kind of the fodder.
Kane was just trying to kill. Well, Kane wasn't trying to kill Zack. Kane was trying to get Cena to embrace the hate, so that was like all 2000, like late 2011.
Yeah,
which I really wanted him to. Like, if you were going to turn John Cena heel, that would have been the perfect time.
That would have been the perfect time.
Like, literally the perfect time. Because then, like, I think one of those weeks he like destroyed Zack Ryder. I mean, not Zack Ryder, Jack Swagger.
Swagger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Fun squash match.
That was awesome. All because earlier in the night, Swagger had beaten an injured Zack Ryder for the U.S. Championship. It was when Laurinaitis clown ass was in charge. Yep. When Laurinaitis was in charge, and he put Zack in the match, and Zack didn't defend the U.S. title against Hager. He'd get fired or something like that.
Yeah.
No, he'd lose. He was going to get fired. He was going to lose the belt.
Right.
Either way, I remember being absolutely furious.
Oh yeah, I was too. This is around the time where I just started really discovering the IWC as well. First match on the pay-per-view. Christian wins a battle royal.
Okay, so that's definitely 2011.
R-Truth and Kofi Kingston defeat Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler, retaining their tag titles.
Yeah. It's definitely around 2010s, 2011.
Divas champion Layla beats Beth Phoenix.
Okay, yeah, so same time frame.
World Championship match, Sheamus defeats Randy Orton. Defeats Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and Alberto Del Rio in the Fatal 4-Way.
Is this Fatal? No, this isn't Fatal 4-Way.
No,
this isn't Fatal 4-Way.
Alberto, no, my fault. Brodus Clay beats The Miz.
Wow, this is obscure. Okay.
Christian.
Wait. Was he Brodus Clay or was he?
No, this is Funkasaurus.
Oh yeah, because that's exactly how he debuted. Because I remember that. Yo, that was so weird. Because we got promos of Brodus Clay being this killer. Being this absolute killer, and he debuts, and we get that. And I remember being very confused.
Technically, he had already debuted, because you remember he was wasn't he Alberto was heavy?
I want to say yes.
I want to say he was Alberto was heavy.
I just remember being very confused.
They basically veered him, except for the fact that Veer is not a comedic character.
I remember being very confused. That's all I know. I was very confused.
I thought was
gender. Yeah. I remember being flummoxed, confused, flabbergasted, caught in the genjutsu when Brodus debuted.
Oh yeah, I think everybody
as a Funkasaurus. And what made it worse, he got Tensai to join it when Tensai was supposed to be this serious character.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was sports entertained throughout that whole thing.
I was fascinated.
Hey, we got Naomi out of it.
Yeah.
It was an interesting way.
It was a weird time. It was a weird time. It was one of those things where it's like, because
Vince loves that dancing type gimmick. Surprisingly, we don't have. I don't think we really have one now.
Well, Naomi.
But that's not a gimmick for her.
That's
Naomi.
Yeah, true.
That's literally Naomi. Like, bro, like we know Tyrus ain't no dancer.
He was so bad at it.
Albert's not a dancer. Now, like if Tyrus was being something himself, then he'd be like some political analyst or something like that.
Well, no, that's where he was. He was going on Fox News with the NWA Television Championship.
He's still up there, I think. He's on Gutfeld all the time.
That's really...
I end up finding videos like coming through my YouTube all the time before. I'm like, let me see what Tyrus is talking about.
It's weird. It's just... I can't understand it. I don't understand
All right, back to the
card.
What
else you got?
Back to the card. Where we at? Remember Christian won the Battle Royal early in the show. The Battle Royal was to get the IC title match. Matter of fact, I know exactly what this is. Christian defeats The Miz to win the title.
The Intercontinental title.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna let you know now. These next two matches will probably give it away.
Okay.
CM Punk defeats Daniel Bryan.
Oh, Over the Limit.
Yes.
2012.
Yes. And
Hey,
then also on the card we had Ryback beating Camacho and John Laurinaitis beating John Cena in the no DQ match.
Oh, isn't that because Big Show?
Big Show.
Yeah, let's say Big Show returned with an ironclad contract that he wouldn't shut up about and screwed over. No, because seriously, that's what. After that, I remember after this, the next few weeks, every time he would cut promos, he would show like how what he used to be. Like he would show him when he fought Akabono at WrestleMania, him at WrestleMania 18, where he was at WrestleMania Access. Like I'm pretty sure he was drunk, and do it all.
That was the same stuff they used because I remember they had the feud between Cody and Big Show, Cody Rhodes and Big Show. When Big Show beat him for the Intercontinental Championship at Mania. And I swear Cody beat him in Norfolk for the belt again. No. They built to it because I was there when they were building for their rematch.
It was really weird. Those were weird times.
That was the first time I saw Cody Rhodes in person. Those
were weird times. Speaking of weird times, what are your matches? You have matches of the week? Any matches from any point in wrestling history that you watched that you were fascinated by?
I've been watching some of the VCW stuff that has been coming out as of late.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to the next show because I don't think you saw my interaction with Papa Don.
I saw it. He's
so I'm going to the show. So if you come with me. The King comes and maybe Sean. We're all bringing pizza boxes.
I gotta see if it's in the cards. If you know what I mean.
Well,
man,
I could get. Did we talk about the cards so far?
You did. You said it's the 4-way with the VCW Championship, Ken Dixon,
right.
Dirty Money, Papa Don, and somebody else. I know he said Desmond King and Isaiah are teaming together against.
Yeah, they're going for the titles against Golden Peace.
Yeah, they're vacant because they're vacant because those other dudes. What happened to those other dudes anyway?
Black Wall Street. I don't know, but they were supposed to be on the card last show, I believe, but something went down. Sarah Rios de la Sangra is going against Gina Medina, which was supposed to be the match at the show before last, but Gino had some travel issues where Sarah Rios de la Sangra ended up going against Tim Spriggs. I'm hoping Joe Keys will be back. Joe Keys is pretty good. Logan Easton LaRoe, I forget who they have him going against. My twin brother.
You say he's fighting Boar, right?
Yeah, the Hoss of Hosses, the Vontaze, was going against the pig Boar. This whole time I didn't realize he was a pig. I feel dumb.
What do you think of Boar? Wait a minute. What do you think of Boar is?
I don't know. Leave me alone. I had a slow moment.
I miss Brian in these moments.
Speaking
of which, did you see the picture he posted this morning of your former quarterback?
Yes.
I had to put in there, dog. If it wasn't,
have you seen the jokes that I've been cracking on Twitter today?
It
was a big dude playing basketball.
Oh no, man! Y'all need to leave that man.
I was like, Kobe Bryant.
No, everybody was frying this man.
That dude was nice with it though.
I know, but let that man be good. Like I haven't seen a big man be athletic.
Yeah, Derek Fish Fryer.
Y'all are foul. That's what y'all are.
Welcome to the internet, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all are absolutely.
And then there was another one that I saw like an hour before we went live, and I had to hop in on that one too because I saw it from Seahawk, not the Seahawks, but Cam. Where is it at? Because I hopped in on it. The dude. So it started off. I'm gonna read some of the ones where I found it from. I got it. So it started off with a guy saying Steph Curry and not even Indian.
Wait, what?
Steph Curry, not even Indian. Curry.
No, I got it.
We'll talk about India. We'll talk about India later.
No,
this somebody else is like DeMarcus Cousins ain't even family. I should have brought football into it. Like Derek Carr isn't even a vehicle. Hassan Whiteside ain't even white. Y'all gonna leave my cousin alone, man. Klay Thompson ain't even made out of clay. That was like James Harden soft.
James Harden soft.
It was a
LaMelo Ball is not a ball. LaMelo Ball is not round.
Yeah, my boy Ian just sent me that. Lonzo Ball ain't even round. Let me read some more of these because these were really good. Let me go back to. I think I'm gonna find some in the original comment. In the
Tyreek Hill is not a landscape.
Yo, chill. Hold on. Let me check the quote tweets. Somebody said Desmond Bain ain't even from Gotham.
Roman Reigns is not Italian. Roman Reigns is not even Italian.
Roman Reigns, but it's sunny. Marcus Smart is not even a genius. Dalvin Cook, not even a chef. De'Aaron Fox isn't even an animal. Blake Griffin, not a bird. Derek Fisher never had a hook. Carl Anthony Towns ain't a neighborhood. Kevin Love hates people.
Wait, no, hang on, back up. You can't tell me Carl Anthony Towns doesn't sound like it has some nice apartment complexes.
It does.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
NBA Youngboy don't do professionally. Baker Mayfield can't cook. Yes, he can.
Baker Mayfield can't cook.
Baker Mayfield definitely can cook. You never had a special?
Oh, apple turnovers.
Meg Thee Stallion, not even a male horse. Trey Young hair. Yo, leave Trey alone. Trey Young hair look 47 years old. My man said Jason Kidd turning 50. Larry Bird ain't even got feathers.
Magic Johnson's not a magician.
Soulja Boy ain't never been in the military. J. Cole, but it's 98 degrees.
Little Yachty's not a boat.
Oh my gosh, these are great.
Oh man.
Kobe White ain't even white.
Kodak Black is not a camera. No, nothing.
Hold on. Doc Rivers not even water.
I thought you were gonna go. I thought with that one you were gonna go. Doc Rivers is not a doctor.
Well, you can either go either way with his first name or last name. Just hilarious, not even hilarious.
Adam Silver is not silver.
Yo, somebody. All right, this is the last one we do. But someone was like Rudy Gay, but he sucked. Never mind.
Hey, yo. So, all right. While we're on that topic, so you know how I listen to Dan Le Batard, right?
Yeah.
So Dan Le Batard has this thing called the Looks Like game, where he has sports personalities and he says what they look like. So, for example, he has Charles Barkley looks like a thumb.
No,
no, looks like
no.
Look, he said no.
No, because I see it now.
He says Pete Carroll looks like a guy who runs a dojo for 8-year-old yellow belts.
accurate.
You know who Mike Dunleavy Jr. is, right? Mike Dunleavy?
The player? That played for the Sonics?
He says Mike Dunleavy Jr. looks like a generic police sketch.
That's the one that played for the Sonics, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Shane Battier looks like the tennis coach who gets a little too close to your wife during a lesson.
I would have to run hands with him.
Shane Battier.
Wait, is this Mike Dunleavy Jr.? Is his dad like a politician?
I thought his dad was a basketball coach. I thought.
Yeah. Well, there's a Mike Dunleavy that's a politician as well. Hold on now.
Oh, wow. You know Jeff Van Gundy on ESPN?
Yeah, Stan's brother.
He said Jeff Van Gundy looks like the morgue worker who is doing an autopsy while holding a half-eaten sandwich. Let me see if I can find more of these. These are good.
I got a bad take, so I think we'll start finding really bad takes, and we're going to talk about them. And then we'll get to some of the topics in wrestling before I figure out why y'all mad.
Matt Stafford looks like your friend's friend who uses your bathroom that comes out 15 minutes later and asks, "Do you have a plunger?"
Oh Lord, did he mark it?
Chip Kelly looks like Winnie the Pooh's dad.
Yo, all right, so let's
last one. Swear to God. Adam Silver and Scott Van Pelt look like a pair of Apple AirPods.
Oh my gosh. I can't understand now.
Steve Kerr looks like the guy who starts practicing his golf swing mid-conversation. He does look like that.
That reminds me of my band teacher, Mr. Bacon. Every single time he just wanted to start having a conversation with us, he practices his baseball swing. He'd ask us a question. All right, so guys, what does that say in measure 5? All right, so here's the tape.
Go ahead.
So if it weren't, I got this from a Facebook group. If it weren't for Judas and AEW, nobody in the WWE crowd would be singing Seth's song. Shinsuke and Pat. That's all thanks to the AEW crowd. Actually showing you how to have a good time at a pro wrestling show. They even sing Vince's song, which never happened before Judas.
Is that your take, or is that
no? This is the take of somebody else.
Okay, well, I would.
This is bad. This is bad take central.
I know. I'd agree.
Why? Because they were singing.
Well, no, I'm not saying. I'm okay.
Right. I would say AEW does it more.
No, okay.
Everybody's theme song at this point is a sing along. From
okay, never mind. I forgot what I said. I think. Please wait. I think we'd seen it more because people started doing it more with Judas. We're seeing it more. I'm not saying they started it, but please wait. I don't think anybody paid attention to it.
No, because you got to remember you had Sammy's theme song.
I know, but I'm saying I don't think anybody paid attention to it. It hasn't drawn this much attention.
Okay,
you know, it hasn't drawn this much attention since it started. Like I said, when Jericho came out there, in his match against MJF, and he said, "You can't use Judas, nothing, no music, no fanfare, nothing like that. You just got to come out." And the crowd started singing his song.
That was
all off key. Like God, those people needed a choir director. Bad.
I'm sorry, Ricky Diller wasn't able to be there.
Ricky Diller has one of the best sounds on TikTok, by the way. You know the sound I'm talking about? I'll send it to you. You haven't heard the sound? Yeah.
If you got it, let me see you raise your hands. No, I ain't doing it.
I said you can't even go that high. Don't even try it. You can't go that high.
No, because I knew about that song for years now. Because when I heard it, I don't think people know where that whole part came from.
No, I had to look
So
for it. I
mean that whole lick. So the do 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 came from Birdland. There's a song called Birdland. Well, you hear
I'm going to assume that's not a gospel song.
No, it's not a gospel song. It's a jazz song.
Oh.
Maynard Ferguson, Birdland.
Noted.
Because we played it my senior year in jazz band. I got hit the Maynard Ferguson back in high school. But here's the reason why I say it's not true. Now,
I wouldn't say it's not completely true. I would say it's like I said, I don't think we paid attention to it.
But it's definitely
it's way more highlighted now than it was before.
Because even down to the fact that he said that nobody was singing Vince's song until Judas is false, because I just found a video from SmackDown 1000, and guess who was on that card?
Vince.
No, Chris Jericho.
Oh. Judas
was just a song on his album, and nobody was singing Judas because he was walking out to break the walls down, and nobody was singing break. Have you ever been to a show that it was like break the walls down?
Well, to be fair, when I did see Jericho that one time, I went to Raw in LA, and Sasha won the belt in the main event, which was such a great night. Which reminds me, I've also seen Rusev. No, well, we've seen Rusev too. We saw, he was Miro, but we saw him in North Carolina.
I've seen this Rusev too. I saw him when he was doing the
I've seen him as Rusev.
The Russian flag thing.
Who was that man?
And you know what?
The first time I saw him, he was in a feud with Ryback. Before
he was champion that first time.
Huh?
He was
he was still US champ. This was December 2014 when I first saw him. But he what was I talking about? Not Rusev, something else. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Yeah. No, but I saw Jericho when he was with KO, and I don't remember they didn't play his song; they played KO's.
You're right.
So
Kevin, his songs really isn't something to sing along to, but like
it's catchy though. I have it as my ringtone.
But I will say that the singing along has really taken a different life of its own. But Shinsuke, people were singing Shinsuke's song from the moment he got to NXT.
Yes.
Sami Zayn, when he finally got the theme song that we known, because again, that wasn't his original theme song. That theme song didn't come around until after he won the NXT title.
Right.
He had a different song when he first came to NXT.
Like when he was feuding with Cesaro.
Yeah, that was a totally different theme song.
Also, we're forgetting about Fandango.
Oh my gosh, Fandango, because WWE ran it so far into the ground because they were using it as press, saying everybody's doing a Fandango and everything like that.
Also, speaking of Fandango, him and Summer Rae reunited on the Indies.
I saw that. That was so dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to Summer Rae, bro. Did you see what she was the thing that she did during WrestleMania weekend?
I did not.
It was her. I want to say Mojo. They did a show for disabled because it was the wrestler that had Down syndrome.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was Summer.
Oh.
Or my fault. What is her name actually? Danielle. It's so difficult calling people that you've known like as such and such, trying to use their actual name. Like, I don't know what Cesaro is going to come out as when he returns to the ring.
I'll be surprised if it's not Claudia. It's probably going to be Claudia.
I don't know. I saw something that he was trying to trademark Cesaro, spelled SCSRO. Which he was using that on his gear.
He did, yeah.
I think that would you know what? I think that will probably be the best bet for him, because at this point now, more people know him as Cesaro than they do know him as Claudio Castagnoli.
I tell you who doesn't, who always know him as Claudio. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is
And
not
that's
going
something
to.
I've noticed because, like, you look at a lot of the people that have left WWE. Ruby, she could have went back to Heidi Lovelace.
She went back.
But she
to
went
Ruby
with
Soho.
the name that was more similar to the name that more people knew her as, Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho. Tony Storm kept hers, but she was Tony Storm in the
Storm
Indies.
was Tony Storm beforehand anyway. I'm just surprised that WWE didn't change her name from Tony Storm, which may be why she left. Who knows? Because as we're seeing now, we're starting to see a lot more names being changed. Raul Mendoza just had his change to shoot. They just changed Raul's name too. Because Raul Mendoza is his actual name. So what WWE is doing now more so is really streamlining the name changes. Because I think even with Marcel Martel, I want to say one of those is his actual name. So now he's going by what did they change his name? Raul Mendoza is now Cruz del Toro. And then Marcel Bartel,
who was on the Indies, Axel Dieter Jr.
Right.
Ludwig.
There we go.
Yeah. Which I will say this, even though I'm not watching, where is he on? Raw or SmackDown?
He's on SmackDown.
With Walter?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. The image of the white light with Walter in the background and Marcel in the foreground, that image on the entrance ramp, it looks kind of dope.
That's the thing with WWE.
I can't even. I ain't gonna hold you. It looks dope.
Quality. Like, say what you want to say about AEW and how much you enjoy it. Production quality, they're not such in WWE right now.
Yeah. Which first of all, Walter's silhouette on its own. When Walter debuted, when Walter comes out anyway, and the lights go out, especially in a full arena, lights go out, and just the light behind him lights up, and he's standing there parade rest essentially. I'm like, that in itself looks sick.
And I think his more chiseled frame now adds to it.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the thing, people were making a big fuss about how Walter or Gunter, whatever you want to call him,
I'm calling him Walter. I don't know. It just sounds.
I don't care. You call him Walter, Gunter, Gunner. I don't care.
Gunner.
Shout out to Malcolm, bro. Malcolm Bivens. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna get to Malcolm Bivens in a second. I need to finish my point, but people made a big fuss about his frame being changed. As non-wrestling fans, show them a picture of Walter last year and a picture of Walter now. Which one looks more intimidating? You already know my mama. I'll ask my mom if I ever want to know something from a perspective of somebody who doesn't watch wrestling like we do. I can immediately ask my mom or sister, and I know I can get that perspective from them. So I asked both of them. I was like, which picture looks more intimidating? She pointed at Gunter now and said that he looked more sloppy. He looked sloppier in the prior picture.
But I'll tell you what that previous form was doing. Now, granted, because I haven't seen it and haven't been watching, that previous form had like a bunch of 5-star matches.
Let's be real. I don't think anything else has changed outside of his build. He's still.
I'm just saying before you say his match quality, start talking about match quality between the two forms. Hey, that first form was like killing it. That first form has probably one of my favorite matches of all time against Ilya Dragunov. I
still think that if you put this version in that same position, I don't see any difference.
I don't think so either. If anything, it's probably worse.
I think
his chops are probably worse.
Thing is he looks more marketable. If you're trying to portray, if you're trying to put something out to the public, I really believe that this is the best version that you're going to get out of him. And now I feel like, and that's why I feel like Vince will say, "Hey man, I need you to slim down." And he was like, "All right, cool." And he even said he feels great. So
he could be the foreign menace. He was a menace. Let's face it, he was a menace. Like William Regal. Just probably way more intense. Although in terms of intensity, I don't think anybody's touching Regal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So his name now is Ludwig Kaiser.
Kaiser in German means king.
Means what?
It means king. I googled it.
Shut up! Stop calling me Scam Likely. Scam Likely got me. That's like 10 times today.
Yeah. Oh, scratch that. Kaiser in German means emperor.
That's even better.
Right?
I don't like. Everybody was so mad about the name Ludwig Kaiser. I was like, first of all, Ludwig. I was like Beethoven.
And then Kaiser Soze.
So King Beethoven. I don't know. Emperor Beethoven. I don't know. It sounds dope to me. I'm willing to see what they do next week on tomorrow, because his match, what they had him doing Friday, looked pretty solid.
They already gave him a GIF. They already made a GIF for. Yeah.
I'm about to be using that one, boy. That's my GIF right there.
Already, man. That's how you know you're over. If they already make a GIF of you, you're over. That's it.
Like, and one that's actually started to grow on me, Butch. Low-key, I don't hate it as much.
I keep having to put in perspective like how small he really is. He's 2'5", but like a stocky 205.
He is small. And that's the thing. NXT really hit a lot of that. And I noticed it. You know when I noticed it? With Cross.
Yeah.
When Cross was on NXT, he looked huge. The moment he stepped foot on Raw, he blended.
As soon as somebody who stood in the same room with him, he is huge. He's like 6'4", 270. Or maybe not 270.
So
maybe
just
all
imagine
6'4",
the
260.
rest of the guys on the main roster. If you blend in after looking like a giant when you put yourself against guys like Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, which imagine what Adam Cole would look like on the main roster right now. Yeah. Adam Cole would.
I thought today was Friday. I was going to say, dog, we're missing Adam Cole lose his title shot again. Not getting another one.
That's tomorrow. But
right. He's going to lose that match. Like, it's so confusing.
I actually like where they're going right now, because Butch, Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him, he's a little unhinged.
Pete, well, if you look at Pete Dunne,
let's put it this way. You know why it's an issue now? It's because we're seeing the developmental. The developmental scene is a lot more visible than it was. Imagine 10 years ago, and we were watching FCW the way we watch NXT. People would have been mad that Alberto Del Rio was Alberto Del Rio. Why? Because Alberto Del Rio's gimmick was Ricardo Rodriguez. All the way down to the theme song. Ricardo Rodriguez was what Alberto Del Rio was when he got to the main roster. Imagine, let's just say Santos Escobar. He's been doing the Legado del Fantasma, and then they bring him up as the special guest ring announcer for inserts. Let's just say they bring in Roosh. Highly doubtful, but let's say they bring in Rouge and he takes everything that Santos Escobar was doing and they say, now you're his manager.
Where is Rouge anyway?
I don't know. But you see how that would make an issue.
Yes.
This is exactly what was going on in developmental. Roman Reigns. Let's imagine watching FCW, knowing this guy is Leaki. Oh, we're gonna change your name to Roman Reigns. Why are you changing his name to Roman Reigns? His name is Leaki. I'm gonna call him Leaki. Development, and that's the thing. We've been watching these guys develop in the developmental scene, so now we are expecting them to come into the main roster as what we have already seen them to be, not realizing that this is the way that this ship has ran for decades. Let's go back about 20 years. Batista. What was his name in developmental? Leviathan.
Yeah, thank you. It was right in the tip of my tongue and I couldn't think of it. I was gonna get there.
Imagine they changed it to Batista, even though Batista is basically close to his last name, Batista.
The only thing is missing is a U.
Right, and you can see if we were watching OVW at that time, how that could cause what we are witnessing right now with NXT. It's constant. They've been doing it forever. The Shield wasn't the Shield until they debuted on the main roster. As a matter of fact, I don't think they were feuding with each other on multiple occasions in FCW. They had a triple threat between all three of them. Roman, Leaki, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. It's on YouTube, guys. So I think when they came, that's the moment I realized NXT had changed from the NXT that we had been knowing with the game show and everything. Because at that point, that's when NXT became the developmental scene. Where at that point, Seth Rollins had just recently lost the title to Big E. Big E was doing the 5 count and everything like that. And so we are expecting that, but not realizing that there's still a great majority of the people that show up and watch WWE on a regular basis and don't pay attention to NXT, regardless of the fact that it's on national television. Hence why you see a lot of guys that come in, they're like, who was that? You remember my reaction when Trick and Mello showed up on SmackDown for the dark match.
You were through the roof, and everyone around you was confused.
The only one to pop.
Everybody else around you was confused.
Like, I was going crazy, and then my family and everybody else around was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "They're my boys out there."
Did he win that match too?
You know, Trick a Pirate.
Did he win that match?
Who did they go against?
Oh, War Raiders. They lost. Those are War Raiders.
But then Cora Jade showed up. Now I kind of popped for Cora. She lost against Dakota, but still. Now I don't know. I'm going to Raw. I know you probably won't go, but I'm going to Raw.
No.
I'm going for Cody.
Have fun with your ears.
Did you see me and King's conversation today? So I think I've been to 10 WWE shows in the course of a decade. And usually, I think 9 out of the 10 shows I enjoyed. The one show I didn't enjoy was the Raw on Memorial Day, which we know usually Memorial Day is usually one of the worst Raws of the year. So there you have it. The worst part of a WWE show live. Pyro. And it was so much worse. Now, last year. I don't know. It was just like, even when I was prepared for it, it was loud and you felt every inch of it. Like, I need them to fix that, bro. Especially with Cody's pyro. Cody got more pyro than Roman.
Were you not watching him in AEW? Did you not see how much pyro he had?
Yes, but at the same time,
it's not as loud.
It's nowhere near as loud.
If anything, it's hotter. It's hotter. It's not as loud.
It's hotter. There's you can hear it. The difference is you can feel it with WWE. It's loud and you feel it. AEW is medium loud. Like it was at one point where it was like, all right, that's getting kind of loud, but it never got to the point where what I felt when we went to SmackDown. And I think that was the first time we've had pyro at SmackDown since.
It's been a while because, mind you, they didn't have pyro at all for like
the last
years.
time before that was when I went with my sister.
They didn't have pyro for like years.
That was 2016.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what I mean. They didn't have pyro for years. Like they stopped doing it. It was like I don't think they brought it back to like 2019. Like around 19.
Right when they started the new splits with SmackDown going on Fox and everything.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was.
That original stage for SmackDown. That original stage was dope. And we never got to see it. Because we had like one of the last shows that were not on Fox. Then like a month or so later.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It was like a month later they moved.
That's the one
where we were on Tuesday.
Kofi was champ and Kofi was feuding with Randy. And like Randy and FTR jumped Kofi. Yeah. It was interesting. That was also like Chad Gable. We thought Chad Gable was gonna be king of the ring, but he didn't.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite King of the Ring tournaments, man.
That was a good match.
His matches with Corbin. Y'all gonna stop sleeping my man's Corbin, dog.
I'm not sleeping on Corbin. I was just like,
oh man, that was a spot.
Yeah.
I'm looking at spots that rent free in my head. And they posted the video of Corbin giving back at the end of days.
Speaking of end of days, did you know Rosemary's the number one contender for the Knockouts title? She's going to face Tasha Steelz at Rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to face Tasha Steelz at Rebellion. Should be really, really good. Can we? I don't want to talk about this for real, what we're about to talk about, because I get why they're doing it, but it needs to be more. There's a lot of people he could have gone with, but I'm surprised. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of, not a bunch, but there's.
Well, here's the thing. They signed.
If you were looking for big, heavy Indian guy for a heavy, like I said, I don't know why they could get Shera.
But the thing is, they had signed Singh already. They signed Singh before Rohit and all of them were free.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I remember when they signed him. And it was
I'm just saying, Shera in AEW would see more. I probably would have gotten more out of that than I did that. Because the whole time I didn't even finish watching the rest of it because I was like, ew, what are y'all doing?
Did you watch the episode when the Great Khali made his debut?
Yes.
I vividly remember that segment. That match.
Wait, who was it? Was it against Taker?
Yes. Versus Mark Henry.
Yes, I remember that.
And
he
Mark
showed
Henry
up. He loved it.
At this point, he was being managed by Daivari.
No, yeah, Daivari. No, yeah, it was Daivari because
Daivari was the original one that brought Khali out.
Because Daivari had Because
And I had to
Davari
rewatch
was managing Kurt.
Huh?
Davari was managing Kurt, and Kurt turned on him.
I can't remember when Runjin came into the scene.
I think it was after Davari, but I'm saying Davari was managing Kurt,
Right.
and Kurt turned on him. And then Davari brought in Khali to take out Kurt.
He was with Mark at first, and then brought out Khali.
Yeah,
because I watched the match again just to clarify, because my biggest issue, one of my issues with this whole thing was the lights out.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
Like usually, and Seahawk made a perfect point. He was like, usually when you pull the lights out thing, usually you're expecting something huge. No, not literally huge, because we got that. But like, I guess when the lights came out, I was immediately thinking, "Oh wow, they guessed us already." And I'm pretty sure everybody was like, "Claudio." If anything, he should have came out behind. What's his name?
From the entrance front.
Yeah, when they came out, he should have been walking behind him. Because let's be real, the man's huge.
Yeah.
He already has a physical advantage over Joe. So all he needed to do is this would have been the perfect time to take away and use what WWE did. Because I think WWE did it so well, and they made me hate Khali for a while. Like, I was literally scared of Khali. He just walked out, stood there, Undertaker got the first hit, no-sold it, chop on the head.
Here's what I hate, and I honestly hate this. Honestly, I didn't hate it because I didn't get it and didn't know who he was. I hated it because I think you kind of know this. I hate when heels do certain heel things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hate, like, for example, Tasha Steelz, for example. We know how good Tasha Steelz is, but her heavy, so to speak, I don't really like the fact she got heavy. You know what I mean? Like, my thing is, like, for example, like Wardlow, for example. I didn't like that MJF had Wardlow. I didn't see the point. Because my thing is, if you're supposed to be this villain, you know, which is why I think pro wrestling is so weird. If you're supposed to be this villain where you're so bad and menacing or whatever, you're supposed to be so much better than everybody else around you. You don't need what you need heavy for, you know?
I think that's where we differ. I understand.
No, I'm
like certain heels need it. Like
certain
Roman Reigns doesn't need a heavy.
That's what I'm saying.
MJF, I can understand. Miz, I can understand. Grayson Waller, I can understand. Grayson Waller is that type of guy that just like comes off as a tough guy, right. But as soon as you step up to it, he runs and hides.
Put it this way. Okay, put it this way. I don't think Jay Lethal needs a heavy. I don't. Sanjay Dutt is perfect. Sanjay Dutt could be to Jay Lethal what the Bollywood brothers were to Jinder. I feel like I've essentially solved a problem.
Dang, I already got 338 views on that. That's crazy. My fault.
You know what I'm saying?
I advertised the show on my on Instagram. And I got 330 people that watched it.
Well done. But like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now, granted, maybe not to that extent to where, you know, Sanjay Dutt's getting ragdolled by everybody like the Bollywood brothers were. But like, you know,
I guess when you're going up against a guy like Samoa Joe,
I mean, do you need a heavy that big? Because mind you, Joe just won the title. You're gonna put him up again. Is he gonna screw Joe out of the title that he just won? As soon as he gets to AEW, I don't think you're gonna do that to Joe. Tony Khan's smarter than that.
I don't think Joe's going to lose this feud.
So, I mean,
I think he's going to. This is one of those ones where you kind of stack the odds.
So then Joe has to go get a heavy now.
No, Samoa Joe's just going to overcome the odds. I think that's the story that's going to come out of this. So now Samoa Joe not only has to watch out for Lethal and Sanjay, now he has Singh as well.
Right. Which, speaking of which, that match was, you can't tell me that match wasn't great.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. Really good. Really good.
It was
great. Exactly what I was expecting out of the match.
Right. I think the best thing was Wardlow.
People don't understand that style. And yeah, I know, like I said before, wrestling is a buffet. Not every style is going to be for everybody. But that's my bread and butter right there.
Yeah.
Like I told you, yesterday, it was parts of the show that really didn't register with me. But two things that really did get me that really got me interested was that match and then the Wardlow stuff.
Yeah, the Wardlow stuff is always great.
I think there's only been one real miss with the Wardlow story over the last few weeks. And that was his in-ring promo.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Wardlow's the type of guy that I don't need to go out there and cut a 15-minute promo.
No. He literally, if he does what he does, well, he's not going to do it next week. But if he comes up and he's like if he kept doing that to Max for weeks on end, just showing up, killing security, and just getting within arm's reach of Max, I could watch him do that every week.
Now, MJF thinking that, what was it, the Butcher or the Blade? Which one was it?
That was the Butcher.
The Butcher, my fault. That he was going to derail Wardlow. Ha, that's funny.
Well, I mean, he paid him I don't know. It had to be the envelope was pretty thick, so that's at least $5,000 in there.
Probably,
maybe 10. I love how he tried to pay off Bryce. That was really funny.
Because the funny thing is, I was sitting there, I was like, are they going to actually? Because I didn't see him counting for a while, and you know how I am with countouts.
Yes. You're like JR when it comes to countouts.
I really feel like JR is speaking things that are coming out of my head when he talks. Because even last night he made a comment. And I was like, JR is gonna say what is on his mind. Because I was talking to the other group, they were like, what are they gonna do? Fire JR for speaking his mind? If they fire JR today, JR is still set for life.
Easily.
JR doesn't have to work another day in his life. Even if they fire him today, Vince would throw him a Legends contract in a heartbeat.
It'd be really weird if he did, though.
It'd be weird. Because it usually happens during tag team matches.
Yeah.
Like he was like, all right, somebody gotta get out the ring. I was like, JR just doesn't care. He's gonna say what JR is going to speak his mind. And a lot of times I agree with what JR saying. So it is what it is. Well, it was something else in WWE world that really got people going this week too. And I can't remember what it was before we get out of the wrestling talk.
Match of the week.
Did you see? Oh yeah, my fault. We didn't get to that. But did you see the tease that happened on Young Rock?
Yeah, Roman and yeah. It's probably gonna happen.
It's definitely happening.
It's in LA. Who else is he gonna face at Mania? Who else?
If that happens, I'm going to Mania.
And considering the fact we'll be there together, we'll have to go to.
Come on, man. Going to a WrestleMania one time.
No, because it's like I don't. My biggest fear is I don't want to go and hate it. You know what I mean? Not hate it, but I don't want to go and be underwhelmed. You know, I don't want to sit there in the stadium and be like, oh, like, all right, yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, that was good. Oh my gosh. All right, let me calm down. It's like, okay, yeah, that was good. Oh, main event time.
The thing about WrestleMania, just the atmosphere. And I guess that's what kind of really radiated to me while watching, especially the last 2 years. We already knew that the energy was going to be type different when WrestleMania 37 happened. Last year, and then WrestleMania this year, especially night one, that was wild.
I mean, all right. So I'll give you this. I'll do this. What are we doing? You said we're doing Bloodsport anyway.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doing Bloodsport, doing Walla Mania, Forticulture.
We gotta go. Whatever show Nick Gage is on, we're going.
Watch another death match. What is that gonna be?
It's probably gonna be It's probably gonna be Spring Break, or if they do Planet Death, or if they do like they did Planet Death. I want to do that. I want to go to a deathmatch show. Basically, one of those GCW deathmatch shows.
Maybe Billy will go against Nick Gage that time.
If Billy goes against Nick Gage next year, if they built
Hey Billy, I'm gonna send this one too. Only way Isaac will get me to watch another death match is if you go against Nick Gage
or John Moxley
or Mox. Okay,
or like Eddie or Alex Colon. Holy shit.
So if you want to see me watch another death match, my fault, Billy.
I was like, kayfabe, bro. Kayfabe, bro.
I'm sorry, I've known the guy too long. Sometimes I just want to say Kyle. Sorry.
And there goes
Billy.
And
that's the only way it's going to happen. You against Mox, you against Nick, or Alex Colon. Outside of that, I'm not doing another death match. I enjoyed doing it though.
I'm gonna say he knows he liked it. He knows he liked that match.
It was fun. It was fun. I ain't gonna hold you.
It was a great fun.
I was concerned. I was concerned of points.
Match of the year, match of the week. What have you seen?
Let's see. Papa Don versus Boar. Anything with Papa Don has been some of my favorite stuff to go watch, man. Every single time, because you already know the energy that comes into it when he walks through that curtain, when he walks down that little ramp. Pizza boxes up in the air, 2 fingers up. We either yell Little Caesars or 2. And I think that was a show that we started actually yelling 2.
Wait,
shut up. Huh?
2,
2, 3, 2, 2, 2.
2, 3, 2.
And I think we started yelling Papa John's at this last show. Because who did he go against? I forget who he went up against at the last show. But it feels like every single week we're throwing something new at him just to make him mad.
There's that.
And like I said before, I just saved the video from my Snapchat of me pointing at him and calling him Little Caesars. I'm about to tag him in it now. Where is it at? I'm gonna do it right online while we're here now. And that show's gonna be what, the 30th of May, right?
Yeah, I think that's what you said. Yeah,
4/30/22. Can't wait. And in the video, you hear this girl calling him a toe sucker. That's what it was. We were yelling at him, you suck toes. Because he was going against Cabana Man Dan. Cabana Man Dan, and the man didn't wear shoes.
Ew.
And he was biting his feet. And so you already know who started the "You Suck Toes" chant.
You weirdo. You're weird for that. I just want you to know that. That's weird, man.
It made it worse because I was around a bunch of kids.
That's weird.
And they kept saying it. It's like, yeah, you toe sucker. Somebody tag Papa Don.
You look at this man and break in on our stream and like just start healing it up.
Look, he already started. I told you we got into it after this show because he was yelling at kids. I walked past. I'm like, why are you so aggressive?
Why are you so aggressive? Why are you so aggressive?
Oh my gosh, I love Papa Don, man. He is great.
No, he's great. He's grade A. He's grade A wrestling.
Like, if I ever got to, I would be happy. There's certain people now that I'm watching in independence that if they ever made it to national television, I'd be so hyped. Like, I don't care if he shows up on AEW, WWE, New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor. I don't care, bro. Just to see him in a bigger stage would be so dope. All right, let's see. Jamie has entered the building.
I rewatched
this man pulling the Keith Lee.
I rewatched Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi from 2005. It's still great. It's still good.
Oh yeah, this will be fun.
Also, Stan Hansen's going to make his first trip to Japan to attend Jumbo Tsuruda's anniversary event.
Ooh, nice.
Because Jumbo and Stan Hansen had some classic matches back in the day.
What y'all about to do is sit here and blow my phone up because y'all got each other keys. I'm sorry, my mom and my sister texting each other in the group chat, so I got to see everything they're talking about. All right, so here's the notable fight matchups for this weekend.
Do not hurt yourself. Gee, he did that on purpose. He did that on purpose.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Woo! Kyle!
But hey, hold on. Before we go any further, whoever, if you're listening to the show and this is your name, we deeply apologize for the butchering it's about to go through.
Oh, it's about to go down. Kyle Bravo versus Godzilla. Oh,
why you say
Godzilla?
I can't even begin to pronounce that. I can't.
That's the best you're gonna get. Miguel Baeza versus Andre Fialho.
I think that's Baeza.
All these hoes.
What?
Munir Lazez versus Eng Lusa.
Pretty sure that's Ange. But...
Oh. Hailey Alating versus Kevin Kroom.
That first one was on purpose. I don't care.
It was. He did it though. He's doing this on purpose at this point.
Yeah.
That's
definitely Myra.
I was hoping it was Mayra.
Might be Mayra.
Ira Bueno Silva
versus.
So he's good.
She. Pretty sure that's a she.
She's good too.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
She's good too. I know. Wait a minute. If there was a she, shouldn't it be Buena?
No. Well, I just googled her. Mayra Bueno Silva. Bueno Silva is a woman.
That should be Buena. Like
no,
Buena girl.
No, she's Brazilian. Her nickname is Shitara. That's a dope ass nickname. Shitara.
Is that her middle name, Bueno?
I am sure I don't know.
Hey, Vicente Luke versus
Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal
That's got to be
Muhammad.
fight night.
Is that Luke or Luke?
I'm not sure.
No, Jamie, I said Lusa, not Lufa. There ain't no loofers out here.
Did you say loofah?
I wear loofers. No, that loafers my fault. I don't wear loofers, I wear loafers. Yeah, is it Luke? So it's Luke A. Oh, my fault. I thought it was Luke.
See, all these people gonna come for us and try and kill us now.
This podcast is gonna get me canceled, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the UFC community, in the MMA community, because we can't pronounce these names right.
I'm gonna keep going until I get canceled. I always wanted to know what it's like to be canceled. Like being canceled. There's I don't know, man. Luke is not your father.
They're really building. They really are building. Josh Alexander versus Moose. I like how they're doing that. That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
Rebellion.
I'm hyped for it, man. I like Moose. All right, so let's get to the non-wrestling conversations. There's been a lot of anger outside of the IWC over the last few weeks. Over the last week, I should say. So it started off on I want to say Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday. Between Monday and Tuesday. Cam Newton. We know Cam Newton, former NFL quarterback, current NFL quarterback, just as a free agent, former MVP, multiple time Pro Bowler, All Pro quarterback, first round draft pick, probably the best quarterback that the Panthers have ever seen in their life. No, I haven't. But he made some comments that made a lot of people upset. And I'm going to see if I can find the quotes because I'm trying to find out why y'all mad. So this is what he says. A bad bee is a person who is just, girl, I'm a bad bee. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part. And there's a lot of women who are bad bees. I say that in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of the way they deem is a boss chick. So then he goes on to say, now a woman for me. Just want to throw that in there, okay? Because that's where we're going here. For me, it's handling your own, knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of I'm a boss bee, I'm a this, I'm that. No, baby, you can't cook. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. And then he continues on. But that's the part that really made him mad. So I want to ask you before I really get to it. Did you see anything wrong with what he said?
No. Not really.
I don't see anything wrong here, dude. Like, is it because everybody was saying, because when you look at the headlines, they were making it seem like he said women should be able to cook and know how to shut up. That's literally what headlines are saying. And this is the issue with headlines, because headlines would make what people say sound a lot worse. He literally said that the woman for him, because before all this, he was going off of the fact that he was brought up in a 3-parent household, his mother, father, and his grandmother. And he's basically looking at his upbringing, saying that, oh, this is what I want in a woman. One of the things my mom has always told me is get somebody like your mother. My mama can cook. I have great examples of women in my life that I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of what Cam Newton said is the type of woman I'm looking for. If that ain't you, cool. There's plenty men out there that will take you. You getting mad over a man's preference is ridiculous at this point. This man didn't say that you have to be this. If you want to be that type of woman that I don't cook, I don't clean, the Cardi B lyrics, you know I'm going here. If that's the way you want to be, cool. You can find yourself a man that'll probably get Alfred in the house to cook your food. Maybe he wants to be the one that cooks. I can cook. And when I have a woman, no, she's not going to be the only one in the house cooking because I'm going to cook too. But I don't want to be the only one in the house that knows how to cook. I want to be able to say, hey, you can chill today. I'll cook. And then other days she'll say, I got dinner today. I don't see how any of that is an issue. And it go into the you don't know when to be quiet. That goes for anybody, bruh. We as human beings, not just women, human beings, period, have an issue of not knowing when to shut up.
Yeah.
As bluntly as I can put it, we have an issue of not knowing when to just flat out shut up. And you guys are kind of proving Cam's point here. And you know the thing that really made me chuckle? How many women have you seen on their social media accounts put Proverbs 31? First of all, do you know what Proverbs 31 is?
Off the top of my head, and I feel bad. I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad.
The virtuous woman. Was it 10 to the end? Because I was reading it. Because it immediately came to me. It's Proverbs 31, verse 10 to 31. And I'm we at church now. I'm about to read from the NIV version. A wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions her female servants. I wonder what that means. She gets up while it's still night and provides food for her family. Continuing. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds this staff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with the strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise to call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. A lot of what I just read there goes to what Cam was saying. So basically, Y'all mad that he said he wanted the Proverbs 31 woman, the same thing that y'all put in y'all bios. I read all that just to say that y'all mad that he wants what you claim to be.
What? Yeah, man. What? So, hang on. So wait. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So you're telling me women put things in their bios that says who they are, and when a man says this is that is exactly what he's looking for, they get mad?
Not all of them, but some. I don't ever want to be
okay. You know what I meant.
Where people think I'm saying that it's everybody, but
okay,
a good amount of y'all, yeah.
Okay, so some women do that. They put things in their bios, and when a man comes along, that's exactly what they have in their bios. Some women get upset.
Yeah,
that's weird. I don't understand.
And I'm trying to see if anybody else has made the parallel. Nope. Nobody's brought Cam Newton up with Proverbs 31. And I'm like, dude, it's his preference. He wants this type of woman. I'm pretty sure if there's a woman out there for him that's going to fit that. I don't want a woman, and this is why I feel like it's difficult for a lot of people to find the right one, because now we're in a age now where a lot of people are looking at the celebrity relationships. Hold on, let me see. Somebody said found one, Pastor YPJ. So a lot of black women are upset because Cam Newton said he wanted a woman that could cook and control her temper. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stay single. Being domestic and disciplined aren't handicaps. They're advantageous. You can be a queen, a boss, and know how to cater. And this somebody replies, I enjoy being that Proverbs 31 woman. However, is Cam in line with his heart is trusting in her? Which I guess is a good point. But what was I getting to before I went on that small tangent? Shoot. I hate when my brain just like farts like that. The edibles hit you too, Isaac?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, you had that edibles face on you.
I was like,
that drink that one time during the press conference.
I was like, your boy got nothing.
But yeah, I just don't understand the outrage when a guy says all these things. Like, oh, that was celebrity relationships is where I was going.
I've always found those very weird. Like, I don't personally, I don't get why everybody's why do we care about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in court right now?
Who?
Are you being serious or?
I'm being dead serious. I know who Johnny Depp is, but who the heck is the other people?
All right, Amber Heard I think they were married, and it came out that she was very abusive towards. They were going back and forth about who was abusing who, and people were backing up Johnny Depp because the internet was backing up Johnny Depp because the internet loves Johnny Depp, and they were saying how she was abusive towards him. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Jamie. But yeah, it's all this stuff came out. It was very, very weird. And so now she's suing him. He's suing her for
and I've noticed it.
For domestic distress or whatever. They're in court right now.
My fault.
So
we have a weird I shouldn't say we because I'm not speaking French. But people have a weird obsession with celebrities. Celebrity worship is a mental illness in my honest opinion.
It is.
Because we've seen it so many times, and even bringing it into our community, you see a lot of people idolizing Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, the thing about us is the thing about us, we idolize. A majority of us idolize and the thing about that is we idolize the worst parts of it. And I say we, I'm talking about we as a human race. We idolize the worst parts of celebrity culture. Like,
right. Now,
for example, in the 20s and 30s, when Bonnie and Clyde were going, Bonnie and Clyde, the story of Bonnie and Clyde, they were a married couple who robbed banks for a living and killed a lot of people.
And everybody wanted to be Clyde. Everybody's like, "Well, I want my Clyde."
Yeah. Do you know when during that time period, if you watch the movie called The Highwayman with Kevin Costner, there's a point where you could see the women were wearing the same dresses, putting their hair, all that like Bonnie. The guys were wearing the suits, the style, all that just like Clyde. In fact, so much so when they died, when they were killed by the police in that shootout, it wasn't really a shootout, it was an ambush. When they were killed, as they were parading the body through the street, their bodies through the streets still in the car, people were like, in the town they were in, people rushed the car essentially to like touch them, steal their jewelry, all this stuff. Because they were so obsessed. Like John Dillinger back in the day, notorious bank robber. People were idolizing this guy. He got interviewed. He was interviewed, is saying like, how quickly now granted I'm quoting this from the movie Public Enemies, but they asked him like how quickly can you rob a bank? Oh, about a minute 30. You know what I mean? And he's bragging about it, and the press is just fascinated with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinated with it. And that's what we do as a human race. We fascinate ourselves with sometimes the good, but most times it's the worst sides of us. Especially in our community, we get
away with that line from No Role Models.
We have in our community, we have idolized some of the worst traits.
And it's
from celebrities.
It's carrying on to the next generation now.
And the worst part is we don't have enough to slow it down or stop it. You could have plenty of J. Cole's, you could have plenty of Killer Mikes, but there's always going to be more Young Boys. There's always going to be more YNW Mellies. There's always going to be more Playboy Cardis. I don't mean to pick on those guys in particular, but
but we know it's more. We have like Young.
Who you see more of? You see more Killer Mikes or Young Boys? You see more. Who you see more?
The brother that just killed the rapper, him, another one. Because I was talking about that before you popped up, and I was saying how it was just ridiculous how.
Wait, who killed who?
You remember the rapper We Ready?
Yeah, Archie Eversole. Yeah,
he was killed by his brother.
What? For God's sake! I thought he died from an illness. I didn't.
It came out the day that his brother killed him. My reaction exactly. Like I said before, it's bad enough when a black man kills a black man. Speaking from the perspective of a black man.
Did they say a motive?
Not yet.
Because I ain't heard Archie Eversole since dropped nothing since We Ready. And if you think about the way We Ready,
but we've seen it before. A lot of guys from that time period, they dropped the track, and you really didn't hear from them again.
They dropped one track. We Ready. You know who uses We Ready's to this day? ESPN for Sunday NFL Countdown.
Everybody uses it. When you go to a Western Branch football game, what's the song that you hear every single game?
Dreams and Nightmares.
We Ready as well.
Speaking of which, we need a better presentation. I went to an Oscar Smith home game. I was like, dog.
They gotta come out of a barricade, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not hard.
They got to come
Make
out
a
of
bear cave, and or get an actual. No, don't get an actual bear. But still,
It had to be something.
Yeah. Get like a bear cave. Come out of a bear cave. Make it like. Go. Here's what you do. You get a bear cave, and then how you have like you can do like red eyes or whatever, highlighting, make it look like something's in there. Do that. Get smoke. Get a tube. Get one of those inflatable tubes with Bruins on it. Come on, it's not hard. I mean,
you're right.
I went to that football game and y'all just running through a banner. Like, dog, I ran through a banner when I played flag football at 8 years old. Like come on.
I never ran through a banner because I never played football.
We can upgrade.
All this bill for me to never play football, y'all.
Speaking of football, shout out to my big sister. She starts football this season, this Saturday. She's playing cornerback.
Play corner?
She's playing corner and wide receiver.
Oh, word.
For the Richmond Black Widows in Hampton. They're playing the Virginia Lady Hawks. So
what time? I probably wouldn't make it.
Probably like 6.
I'll be in the beach.
Yeah.
All right. Continue on with why we mad this week. Tichina Arnold. You know Tichina Arnold. Pam. Martin. She decided to hop on the internet and ruffle. I don't think she intended to ruffle any feathers.
But she did nonetheless.
She did nonetheless. So,
or put it this way. Did she ruffle feathers, or people had their feathers ruffled by what she said?
Perspective. I love it. That's perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Did she ruffle feathers, or did y'all just have y'all feathers ruffled? So she initially came out the question. She says, honest question. What can we as black women in America do to stop aiding in the emasculation of black men in America?
Okay, I have a couple things. First, mind you, this is my own perspective. I think, right, and this is just me, I definitely think you need to stop treating all guys like you need to set your standards a little higher. Let me clarify. Let me clarify before I get canceled. I say set your standards a little higher. You're looking for a guy who is. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. You see where I'm going? Can you see where I'm trying to go? Like,
I think to make it very plain, they're projecting.
Yeah. What you're looking for. Stop. We need to stop trying to fix people. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing.
You see what I'm saying? I couldn't get that.
Because I've been trying to basically play out how I'm going to explain everything from my point of view and my personal experiences.
Yeah.
Because there's things about me that you don't know. And these things happened while we knew each other. Because I was reading some of the comments, and then people were like, oh, we can't help these black men. They're this, that, and the third. Basically lumping every single black man in a bubble. Now, what I'm getting at is I have had multiple times in my adolescence where I have just been basically embarrassed. And 9 times out of 10, those embarrassments came at the hands of black women.
Oh, same.
So let's have a little story time with the truth, Adam. I'm not Adam Cole, baby, but you get my point. So we could go all the way back to second semester of my 11th grade year in biology class. No, I was bullied by like 2 or 3 black girls. It didn't stop until I threw a banana at one of them. Then the next
I love that it was a banana.
I literally snapped in that class once a week because they were constantly saying things about me. At this point, I was with this white girl that was going to Churchland, and word got out that we were dating, and they were cracking jokes at that and every other thing they could possibly crack a joke at me on. This plank of a teacher did nothing about it. He was a literal plank, bruh.
Those are the words.
A monotonous plank. If I wasn't asleep in the class, I was getting bullied or I was going off. That was literally that class. I got out with a C.
Nice. Well done.
Barely. I almost failed. I don't know how I passed SOL either. I think it did. I think chemistry had an SOL.
I was going to say, was it Grace and Mercy?
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. So I went through that whole period and again, being embarrassed multiple times in the classroom, me having to get outside of my character, which is something that kind of has been something I've really dealt with over the time. But you start seeing how a lot of the things that happened, I had to get myself out of character in reaction to it. And a lot of times it was the wrong reaction to it. Going into senior year, I was caught up into a bunch of relationship drama. A lot of relationship drama was even my own relationship that I had with another girl, which led me to being a little bit toxic. She didn't deserve my toxic behaviors, but I was just in a whole dumb situation where I was not really using my head. On to the second semester, I get on the bus, get into an argument with another dude. One girl says something to me. I say something, slip back to her. She slaps me in front of everybody in the bus. I was this close to doing something stupid. Thank the Lord she got behind her cousin, and her cousin was not going to let nothing happen. So I get off the bus. I got to go to the office. I got to talk to them. My mom picks me up. They ask me questions. I go in straight deny mode. I was not snitching on anybody. So word gets around that Aunt snitched because there were people on the bus that weren't living in Chesapeake. So word got around that I somehow snitched. I denied everything. I said nothing to the principals. They knew. And so word got around to the people, and then it was a girl that I basically had a crush on. We're talking at lunch. I say something to her, ask her a question, and she basically says that I don't want to ever talk to you again because of what you done to me. Because again, the word got around that I snitched, which was false. So this is in front of my friends. I'm embarrassed because of an issue that another embarrassment led to another embarrassment. Every single one of those women that I talked about, I have no hard feelings about. One I actually talk to on a regular basis now. We're cool again. I have no issues. Carries on to college. You may know the story. There was a girl that I liked. She stood me up. We were going to go to the mall, and she stood me up. Then we get to English class, and I was saying something, and we had a discussion in class, and she said something slick to me. I looked at her. I said, "Don't try me." I said something else. She said something slick again. And guess what I do? I get out of character because you're not going to sit here and embarrass me in front of all these people again. And so I embarrassed myself because I got embarrassed by another Black woman. To the point where I still have yet to see that. And I wish I could meet her just to apologize. Because that was something I should never done. So what I'm getting to is being embarrassed or being done wrong by somebody is not a reason to basically lump every single person together. Yes, we know there are horrible black men out there. We know that there are black men that are predators, which is another thing because a lot of times you see that whole thing, and you see it just about once a year, how they say that, oh, you never hear about black men outing their friends as predators, because how many dudes do you know are going to outright say, oh, I'm a predator? And you know what I mean when I say a predator.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear guys talking about how they are somebody? Nobody talks like that. No. So if they don't say anything about it, you expect me to just come out outright ask somebody, oh, did you do this? Usually what will happen is, if that was the case, they'll brag about, oh, I did such and such, and basically as if such thing was consensual. And then later on you find out that it wasn't. And then you feel deceived. So I've always hated that discussion because it's like, nobody's talking like that in real life.
I was going to say, I feel exactly where you're coming from, because you know my personality, especially back in middle school, how I was quiet, reserved to myself, all that. So for a while, you remember, I'm not gonna say their names, but you know, there was a certain group of girls. One of them played basketball on the basketball team. Another one whose last name was a verb, for a synonym for the word intimidation, to intimidate somebody. I remember we were in lunch, right? Mm-hmm. And so all for a while now, I just remember them saying, like, them messing with me, you know, trying to flirt with me when, you know how back in the day girls used to flirt with you just to fuck with you type shit, you know what I mean? Knowing they don't really give two shits about you, that kind of thing. So one day there's this tomato on the floor, right? Like the little red tomato, and she kicks it towards me and it hits my foot. And so to me, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm done. I kick it right back at her and say, she looks at me and says, what is your problem? In front of her and everybody, I say, you're my fucking problem. You're my problem. And so since then, and it wasn't just then, it was just all throughout middle school, not really mostly in high school, mostly middle school, I still kind of hold this because based on, I held this, especially when it comes to certain kind of music, especially in the rap community, why I'm very, very picky about the music I listen to, and why I've kind of cut off a subgenre of rap in general.
I'm guessing that subgenre of rap is like the Cardi B's and
yes, because I
listen to it because this is not my content.
Yeah. It's that, but it's also because I used to get picked on by girls who had that personality, that ratchet, you know,
hot girl
personality that we know it as now. And I, to this day, kind of hold that against them. So actively, for a while, I'm like, you know what? I don't want any part of. At one point, I was like, I don't want no parts of black women at all because of that. Because I'm thinking, you know, every now and then I would meet somebody who would show me different. But for the most part, I'm like, I don't want no parts of that because that's because of that.
And I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think that really is the issue. And like you said, this is a situation where black men and black women need to come together. The ones that are willing to work towards finding solutions Because clearly there are people out there, black women, black men alike, that are the problem.
Yes.
And you try to bring them into the conversation, they're going to do nothing but cause even more drama.
Right.
Like,
which is less than we need.
You have the ones that will talk down on black women at any cost. And then you have the black women that are in this divest from black men movement, which I don't understand how you're divesting when you're constantly talking about black men. Because if you're divesting, you're not putting any energy into something. But every single time I turn around, black men are in your mouth. Literally and probably figuratively and probably literally as well. But hey, my thing is, if we can't use our past traumas and then basically project it to somebody that didn't do it. I didn't cheat on you, so don't try to treat me like the last nigga that cheated on you. And I look at it like that for every situation. When you look at a race issue, I don't assess everything because this white person did something. I don't assess that to every white person. I don't assess that to every black person. I don't assess that to anything like that. I have basically said I treat everybody as an individual. Now, you do something to me, that's a you problem. I'm not going to say what you did to me and assess it to person B, because they had nothing to do with it. I didn't take advantage of a woman, so I shouldn't be lumped in with the other predators that did. And that's the thing. Like, you see a lot of people saying all men and this, that, the third, and then they get mad when they say not all. When somebody says not all men, does not all men? So why you get mad for? I never understood that when somebody gets mad that when somebody says not all men, your statement made it seem like you're talking about all men. Be specific. Words mean something.
I got to deliver some good news. You're familiar with Dick Vitale, right?
Yeah.
The college basketball announcer. He, after 7 months, he has declared that he is cancer-free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After 7 months of treatment, he is cancer-free. So good for Mr. Vitale.
I got one more why you mad, and then that's it for the week. So we all know football legend Tony Dungy.
Oh God. No, yes.
Good
Yeah.
vibes. Oh my gosh, I'm blocking you. I'll explain later. I know exactly who that is.
You know who it is?
Yes. I saw the name and I knew exactly who it was.
Good, toxic, or unnecessary?
Get the private chat in the stream. Putting in the stream yard.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Go enjoy your spring break. Jeez. All right, so Tony Dungy was under scrutiny from the black community because he was with Governor Ron DeSantis, which a lot of people have been very upset with, but I gotta give DeSantis his credit. He's been putting out some good stuff. He's been making some interestingly decent moves. Like we talked about it a few weeks ago with the finance class. I don't see how anybody can be mad about that, for one. So now Ron DeSantis is basically funding the program where Tony Dungy is basically trying to help fathers be better fathers. And everybody's mad. And why is everybody mad about that? Because he's with DeSantis. This man is with Ron DeSantis, and everybody's mad about it. Here's why I say this. Here's why I'm not understanding it. We go back a few years ago. We talked about Kanye's situation and how Kanye helped get a lot of people out of jail. Everybody was mad because he was with Trump. We go back to 2016. Ice Cube comes out of the woodwork saying, hey, look, I'm going to try to talk to both political candidates and try to get a plan done for Black people. He had to meet it with Trump. I still don't think he's had to meet it with the President Biden, but we're waiting on that.
Killer Mike caught heat, similar heat in the state of Georgia.
Because he said, I forget what show he was on when he said that he felt like we could cut a better deal with the former.
Killer Mike, he came out. I know the name of the pod too because I was gonna watch that episode.
It wasn't with Charlamagne because I know Charlamagne's been saying the same thing as of late.
It was right here because I remember I see in the clip too. It was something
because basically he said that we knew what he was about and we knew that we.
It was like because he was saying devil. It was like devil, you know.
The devil, you know, basically.
Pierre's Panic Room.
Okay. So here's my issue. And I did this kind of scenario with wrestling. Imagine having social media during Malcolm X's time and the internet finding out that he had a meeting with the Klan. Malcolm X would have been called all types of Uncle Toms and Uncle Ruckuses and Sambos and all these other different types of racially insensitive sub-Black man words. So my thing is, does it really matter what politician you go to if you're trying to better your community? Should it matter?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. However, it shouldn't matter. But the thing about it is that and a very big problem we're having is we're very picky as a people. I'm not talking about Black people. I'm talking about as humans. We're very picky and we're very set in our ways as humans, more than we think we are.
That's a problem.
We are very set in our ways. So if you're set in your ways to dislike one candidate for whatever reason, whatever they do, no matter good, bad, or indifferent, you're going to not like them. So with this, because over the pandemic, mind you, we've heard nothing about but how Ron DeSantis has just been this troll mat for Trump to walk all over. You know what I mean? How he just do whatever you say. Basically, he's been basically Ron DeSantis to Trump has been what Samuel L. Jackson was to Leonardo DiCaprio and Django Unchained.
And that's what they've been saying. But I think the thing with Ron DeSantis, and I've been paying more attention to what he does because I feel like he's somebody that you should probably be on the lookout for because this could be a guy, whether it's in 2020 or 2024, that could be a guy that is the Republican nominee that will be running for the seat. So I'm not even looking at this as a who I support and who I don't support thing. I think it's important to understand when you see somebody that you can say that could possibly be the president. Because when Cuomo when Cuomo started getting his name out there, when people started seeing who Cuomo was before the allegations came out, I was looking at what he was doing. I do this with any candidate that I can see that, hey, this guy may be a candidate for president. So looking at it from the Republican aisle, looking at it from the Democratic aisle, looking at it from any third party aisle, I think it's important to do that just to understand who they are, not who people say they are.
But here's the other thing about politicians, and one thing that made me realize, like, they're all trash. None of them ever do what they say they're going to do.
Well, that's politicians. Politicians lie.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Show me a politician that never lied and now will sell you my land in the metaverse.
You know what I mean? They're all the same. I mean, that line in Randy Orton's song rings true.
Like politicians, they have their moments where they have their big claim to fame. Then at the same time, they do stupid stuff. It's politics. Oh, and I made that point. I made that point earlier today because Linda McMahon made a tweet and everybody was attacking her, where she the basically the border issues in Texas.
Right.
She went down there, basically said the number of illegals into the United States isn't sustainable. We deserve better, and then a government that believes and allows open borders is a danger to our country. And everybody was saying, "Oh, so you hate Mexicans?" I was like, she literally said illegals, not Mexicans, but illegals. And so I quote tweeted it because I wanted to put my take in. And I said, I'm not even going to go the route the rest of the quote tweets are going because I can comprehend what I read. Kind of.
I saw that.
I was like, but what I will say is doing a photo op has always been weird to me. Because all performative, both sides love doing it to make themselves look like they truly care. They both do it, bruh.
They do.
You got this. You got the
one of the worst ones were all the senators taking a knee with the kente cloth on.
Oh my gosh, I hated that.
That was the absolute worst.
It was the kente cloth around their necks and up, knee down, fist. I was like,
counterpoint. However, counter. Donald Trump with the Bible in front of the church during that DC protest was the worst.
Regardless of what aisle you are on, you both have performative issues.
Very, very.
Photo ops at the border wall looks performative. You didn't have to have a photo op.
Also, like I know I mentioned this before, Republicans posing with their guns in their nice, clean houses in a non-war zone has always bothered me.
If I were to have one, I wouldn't post a picture. Again, performative.
That's why I said that. They're just
performative politics.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are starting to see it now.
But it's like I said before.
I'm willing to call out either side because I understand. I say it all the time. You say it all the time. You find one issue on one side, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find the same issue on the other.
It's like I said before. Pretty sure other countries watch our country on the news and find it really funny.
I'm pretty sure they laugh. And then the funny thing is, one side would say, "Oh, the Republicans are an embarrassment. Oh, the Democrats are an embarrassment." I don't know if you saw my TikTok because I made the point on TikTok too, because one guy was saying that the Democrats are racist. Then he was like, the other person was like, "Oh, the Republicans, this, that, and the third." I was like, do y'all not see that y'all are basically pointing the finger at each other for doing the same thing and can't see the issue in your own self? You're literally pointing each other, accusing each other, doing the same thing. And both of you are right.
That's the other thing. Nobody wants to admit when they're wrong. But on top of that, if you and me make the same point, right? Let's say you and me make the same point.
You have a beard.
Yes. You also have a beard.
No, you have.
But it's not as full.
But you have. But I don't have. You have a beard.
But you have facial hair nonetheless.
But you have a beard.
But you have facial hair.
This
so
the point.
See what I'm saying?
Right there.
You see what I'm saying? Are we wrong with saying he does have facial hair? I do. We both have facial hair. Mine is more fuller than he is.
Hey, but we still have it.
Yes.
And this is my issue with politics altogether. And I'm starting to understand it, seeing the things that's going on. Like I've watched some of the conversations. Like I follow conservative. I follow a bunch of conservatives. I follow a bunch of liberals. And I'm just sitting here observing because a lot of things are going on now. The BLM talk is going on, which I'm sorry, a lot of y'all got fleeced, but it is what it is. I didn't realize there was a bunch of black men that were involved well before the movement really skyrocketed, and they're all dead. It was two of them that basically were pew-pewed and then lit on fire. One of them, I saw a video, I don't think I retweeted it more than one time, where he basically said, hey, they ain't about it. And then I put today, I was like, have they found who did it? Because ain't nobody gonna say anything.
No, nobody ever says anything.
That's another issue for another day. But yeah, I said all those three instances, basically, you guys find the dumbest things to get mad about. All three of those things that we just went over within the last hour have been ridiculous things to get mad over.
Yes.
Get mad over preferences. Why? You got mad over a question. And then you got mad over, what's the last one? People doing stuff for the community, regardless of the political figure that is in charge. Let's be real. You have to find, and on the political thing, this is why I don't identify with a party. I identify with my issues.
There is, however, one thing that you can get mad at.
Well, there's a lot of things you get mad at in this.
Well, one thing today, apparently. ASAP Rocky cheated on Rihanna.
So? She'll be all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right, but the internet.
It sounds like Richard McCraw's me.
The internet has lost its mind.
Sounds like RNP.
A long time ago, but you know.
RNP, ladies and gentlemen. RNP.
Although I'm not sure how true it is because somebody just said ASAP Rocky repeatedly cheated on Rihanna with NBA YoungBoy, which that can't be right.
I mean, it could be.
Here come the Drake meme. Here come the Drake memes. Hi Rihanna, it's a Rocky situation, but you can come back to me ASAP.
That sounds as bad as Trump when he got ASAP Rocky out of jail. You heard that tweet? I'm gonna be real with you. If Elon Musk outright buys Twitter and takes it being a private thing and gives him his Twitter back, I don't care what anybody says about me. I'm probably gonna follow his Twitter just for the laughs.
Oh, give 45 his Twitter back?
Yes.
Oh, I'll just keep him blocked.
Stuff up there. He would say stuff, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Did you see the threads that were going around when people were like, did y'all really think his Twitter was funny? And
who, Trump's Twitter?
Had a tweet that was just stupid hilarious.
Who, Trump did?
Yes. All the way back from like 2012 tweets.
His Twitter was weird. Like, not weird, but I was like, dude, what are you talking about? This is a very confusing Twitter.
Hey, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. I don't take Twitter seriously, so his Twitter would be perfect for my account. I need something to balance it out with the dumb takes from the IWC. Give me some ridiculous takes from a politician or celebrity or polycelebrity, celebritician, whatever you want to call them. Celebritician, let's go with that.
Although one thing we're forgetting, however, with there is something. What does the Bible say about idolatry?
What is it? Yeah, it's a commandment.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to what we said about an hour ago. We have an issue as a society, and no, I'm not speaking French, Isaac. We have an issue in our society where we idolize celebrities. Well, I don't idolize Trump. I don't idolize any celebrity.
I really don't.
I use it for entertainment purposes.
You can admire them. I admire EC3. Do I worship him? No. I admire Killer Cross because I met him in person. He's really cool.
I think they're cool people.
I admire Rosemary because I met her and Allie, and that was a great moment. But I don't worship them.
And I made that point earlier today on Twitter. I make a lot of tweets that I just be thinking out loud sometimes on my Twitter. Because I said, where is it at? I said, every day I'm reminded on this app why people in the real world turn their nose at wrestling fans. Why do I say that? Because the way wrestling fans react to things, there's a model out there that is basically retweeting people. Oh, I got retweeted by a model. Oh, wow. I was like, okay, cool. She made a remark saying that I watch AEW, not that trash WWE. I was like, okay, nobody asked, but okay. Didn't need that unsolicited opinion for you to just say, hey, I watched this and let me tear down the other company while I say it. She did it for retweets. I already know. I know the game. And so I have communicated with a bunch of wrestlers that have been on national television. I talked to Bree I have conversations with Brianna Brandy here and there. Real dope person. You don't see me losing my mind because she follows me on Instagram.
That's how I felt. When I would get tweets back from when I would tag Killer Cross in certain tweets, and I would get responses from it, I would freak out immediately, but I wouldn't screenshot it and send it like some people do.
I mean, I sent when Mello followed me on Twitter, I sent it to y'all.
Right.
I didn't make a tweet saying, "Oh my gosh, Mello followed me. This is the greatest day of my life."
Right.
Mello's a human being that just happens to be on national television.
Right.
I've been on TV.
When I went to WrestleCon and got all those pictures, and I tagged the wrestler I was with in it and said thank you. One of those pictures I regret. One of them not so much, but
I've been on national TV. You just didn't know it was me, but I've been on national TV quite a few times actually. Basketball games, football games,
with the Legion,
the news. No, I was watching one of the. It was my last game, my last year in Pep Band, and I believe we were playing South Carolina State, and the dude hit a three, and I caught myself jumping up and down, and then they freeze framed me up in the air. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool, but I don't idolize these wrestlers because at the end of the day, when they go home, they're just a human being. Like I said, a lot of them are real cool. Bree's mad cool. AJ's real cool. I mean, I've had Wale reply to me because I said he was going to be at the Royal Rumble, which y'all was right. I've been retweeted by Smoke Dizza, MVP. I want to say Westside Gun probably. I've gotten into debates with Road Dogg. I got blocked by Vito on Facebook.
You got blocked by JD after her having arguments with him. Which I think it's really funny because you're the one who introduced me to him.
Right. And you know what? I had to break out of that because I kind of was I was kind of in that hole that we're talking about right now when it came to JD. So, I mean, and the thing was, I've had different disagreements with JD, and he's replied to me on a few occasions. And then he'll disagree with me, and then his little cult just basically tries to dog me out. But whatever. I know how that is. But the point is, we need to stop idolizing celebrities, because at the end of the day, they're all flawed human beings.
Very, very flawed.
We've seen it with the Will Smith situation, where the kids won't leave me alone about it. I hope he hears me say that too. But the kids won't leave me alone about it. And when they ask me about it, I roll my eyes. Every single time the kids ask me about the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, I roll my eyes as hard as I make it as big as possible. Because I'm like, I don't care.
I will say this. If you're going to idolize, if you are going to like be a fan of celebrities or whatever, at least follow the ones that have some kind of influence. Like a positive, not influence, a positive outlook.
I'm a fan of a lot of people, but you don't see me idolizing them. And a lot of times the ones that idolize them are the ones that are very toxic on whatever platform they are on.
Right.
We've seen it with the Crew, we've seen it with the Beehive, we've seen it with the Navy. I guess that's Rihanna's fan base name, the Navy. I don't know how that came up. The Barbs as well. Did I mention the Crew?
Who's the Crew?
That's Sasha's base.
Sasha Banks?
Yes. Crew with the K.
That's weird.
They're weird. Tell me I'm lying.
No, it's just I started thinking about that
right
dude.
Now. You remember the heat that I got for the Free Ali post?
I was thinking about that dude who got interviewed by Simon at WrestleMania, who called Bianca Belair Donna General Sasha Banks. I said he's probably a Sasha stan, and he's a weirdo. I mean, he looked like a weirdo.
Wrestling fans, I mean, and I say this all the time. Everybody has their weird trait. But like I said, wrestling fans have a weird trait and they just don't know when to start it off. And a lot of it is, I don't think a lot of them don't really interact. Maybe they don't interact as much out in the real world. And that's something I do.
Here, there's something that I know you don't really care for him at all.
Sedge, touch grass.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where you were going. Sidgwick, touch grass.
He's right, though.
I'll give him his credit.
He's right. Because that is one thing not a lot of wrestling fans do. And most of the people in the IWC, they spend all day just flaming.
So they're basically walking man darks.
Basically.
Or Otaku. Otaku's like the perfect example of what we're talking about right now.
You know.
I'm gonna need Cam to stop gassing this man up too.
Who?
Cam. Oh, the only time I ever hear about Otaku is because of Cam.
Oh.
Like he was up there and he said something. He was making a whole thing about get the fed pee out your mouth.
Yeah.
It's always that demographic that's always got to say something sexual to make their point. You can put out say what you need to say without being sexual. Pretty sure we haven't made any sexual innuendos this whole podcast.
Nope.
And we got through a lot of points today.
Yeah, we did.
2 hours and 18 minutes of it, but Got through a lot of it.
Yep.
And all I said was nigga. I'm working on it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working on it. At this point, man, I'm at the point where that word, and I understand that not everybody's in the same position I am. People who say it, it doesn't bother me anymore. A word, and it was something my grandfather said years ago. He said, you only get offended because you want to be offended. Oh, there's a ring. Oh, I have 2 entries for this. Oh, nice. But you only get offended if you want to be offended. And it goes back to the question that you asked with the feathers.
Right. As we close this podcast out, as we close, he says, sounding like his parents who are preachers. As we close out, think about this. When you hear something you don't like, or you say something that not a lot of people will agree with, or whatever the case may be, are you ruffling feathers? Or did those people get their feathers ruffled? Think about that.
Because a lot of times,
that's a lot of times.
Allow your feathers to get ruffled.
Yeah. A lot of times it's the latter.
With that being said, peace, love, and Pop-Tarts. And always remember to drink water. We will see you all on next week. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Sliding it like a wet flow. Already fried from the get-go. Alligators look like gecko. Everything I do, they echo. Big facts, my bank on big man. My drip